I did this look in September of 2015, but before this full face of latex I had only done some small tests on my leg and this hand thing. So this was a really big deal for me and it took me at least 6 hours. I put the cotton and latex on so thick that it took forever to dry. I didn't know what I was doing or how to manipulate the materials I was using, but I learned as I went. I remember being so proud of this look, both the cotton and the latex and the paint job. I was amazed at how, I don't want to say easy, but how easy it was to do something like this. I watched stuff like Face Off and wanted to do something like that so badly, but it always looked like something I could never do. Since the cotton and the latex dries so slowly, you have plenty of time to slowly figure out how to mold and create the shapes that you want. And all my years of painting really helped me when I tried to figure out how to use the cream paints. I kind of like the harshness of the irritated skin better from 2015, but it looks more realistic today, in my opinion at least. I also had some crap blood then. I remember it looked so orange and was so watery and runny, it was a mess. For this look, I used this video by glam&gore and this video by Ellimacs. If you recreate this look at all, please give the credit to the other artists because I for sure copied their work. I was way too new to try to be creative, so I followed other people's tutorials, but if you want to see how I made this look, just keep watching. For this look, you will need a hairdryer with a cool setting, cotton balls, makeup sponges, liquid latex, rubbing alcohol, which thins out cream paints, some kind of brush you can throw away because the latex will ruin it, brushes for the cream paint, tools to tear or cut the cotton and latex, eyeshadow palette with browns and a red, brushes for the eyeshadow, pick your favorite blood. I couldn't find my stage blood at first, but I found it while I was filming. I personally like the thick and dark blood. This stuff does drip with gravity, but it takes time, so it's not running down your shirt 2 seconds after applying it. Some kind of translucent powder or baby powder. Foundation a little bit darker than your normal foundation. This was a free sample that I got that is too dark for me. Cotton pads. And the most important thing you will need, Vaseline. It will save your skin from being torn off when you remove this makeup. Don't forget when you're working with latex, do not wear clothes that you care about. Let's get started. First, put Vaseline or petroleum jelly anywhere you're putting latex. Most people say only where you have hair, but I've learned the hard way to put it anywhere where latex will be going. Otherwise, I feel like I'm tearing my skin off when I remove the makeup. But I also don't remove it the correct way, mostly because of laziness. Use a makeup sponge to apply latex on a cotton pad and fold it to make a rectangle shape. Find your collarbones and place your first rectangle just above that and work your way up. Put 2 rectangles on your collarbones. Add more latex and smooth out the sides, but keep the top and the bottom more three-dimensional. Take your time. The cotton and latex dries really slowly, so you can mold it and smooth it until you get the shape you want. But beware. When the latex dries, it sticks to itself, so all your fingers and sponges will stick to each other. But just roll your hands together and get it off your fingers. For the peeling skin, lay down a line of latex, unroll, and rip thin strings of cotton, and put that on top of the latex. Then cover with more latex. Use your palette knife to shape the wet latex. Add more cotton and latex to build up any parts that aren't as big as you want. Smooth out the side that is blending with your skin and use your palette knife to shape the peeling skin. Shape it unevenly so that some is peeled back farther than other sections. You forgot something. I forgot to pre-paint the inside of the torn mouth, so do that first. Put a line of latex, add pieces of cotton, and put latex on top of that. Smooth out the edges so they blend better with your skin. Repeat the process along the top and the bottom. Cut, tear, and shape the cotton with your metal spatula or your tiny scissors. And repeat on the other side. Latex, cotton strips, more latex. Shape the holes how you want them. Use a hairdryer on a cool setting to help speed up the drying time. Cotton and latex takes a while to dry. Mine was still wet when I removed it, but as long as you have the top layer dry, you can still paint on it. I used my hairdryer until I could touch everything without getting latex on my fingers. And then I covered the gaps in the trachea area along my jawline and the skin flaps with what I thought was translucent powder. It turned out to be more of a powder foundation, but that didn't really matter. I set these areas so I could move my head and not have the latex sticking to itself and ripping everything off. Then I let it air dry some more while I did the rest of my makeup and changed my shirt. Put your darker foundation on top of the cotton and latex, but not the bone parts. Then use your normal foundation to blend that in with your skin. Powder and blend the foundation with a translucent powder or a powder foundation. Now grab your cream paints. You'll need a black, purple, and red. For the neck, fill everything in but the bones with the red paint. For the irritated skin around these wounds, mix rubbing alcohol and cream paint to thin out the paint and put it in a random pattern around the edge of the latex. Dip your finger in the alcohol and pat the area to blend it out, and then keep layering the red and purple using the same technique. Here you can kind of see what I'm doing better. I drew on little squiggly lines that almost look like veins, and then I used my finger with rubbing alcohol and pat and blended it out. I started with a red base and then layered the purple on top. And later with black paint, I went over parts that I wanted deeper into the skin for more texture. Also, in some areas around the edges, I added a yellow tint to make the bruises look a little bit older. Like I've been living in this for a couple of days, just cut, bleeding, and bruising. I don't know, it's just a tiny detail that I wanted to paint in there. To add a nice shadow to everything, use a black paint to go around the inner side of the ripped throat and in the mouth. paint the bone parts white. Then use your rubbing alcohol to make a thin red mix to put on the edges of the bones to help them look like they are coming out of your neck and not just placed on top. Now get your favorite blood or whatever you happen to have. I personally don't like to use a ton of blood because what is the point of putting all that work into molding and painting a piece to cover it with a gallon of fake blood? You can barely even see the prosthetic half the time, and you definitely can't see all the contrast you spent so much time painting on. Okay, mini rant over. But I'm actually a fan of strategically placing bigger blood patches to cover any edges you might have messed up on, so keep that in mind. I actually missed 2 edges and it still really bugs me. Apply your blood with a spatula or small brush. Use your fingers to add some extra textures. And I did end up using more blood than I wanted to on the mouth part because I was looking at the screen while I filmed and it looked so dark and yellow. Like, super yellow. But somehow on my computer it didn't look as bad as I thought it did. Clearly, I need to stop using my phone to film. Don't forget to add some blood to your neck bones. I kept my bones white because I love contrast. But if you want a more realistic, gory look, you can pat or paint on as much blood as you want. Just remember to not overdo it, otherwise painting them white was a waste of time. I hope you liked this video. Please leave me a comment below if there's anything you liked or you didn't like. I'm still learning, so I would love some feedback.